Weights and Downer. You or someone you know has lost the ability to earn a living because someone put the company interests before their well-being. In times like these, there's one firm who has handled hundreds of catastrophic and lost earning cases. Before you settle fast with a company's attorney, give Weights and Downer a call. 985-876-0870. Weights and Downer. Let us fight for your rights.
All right, welcome back as we continue to get you prepared for what could be a lot of snow, a lot of ice, depending on where you are. The lines are very narrow, but still going to get hit with something according to everybody. One of the most important people we talk to, really, every day we rely on our water, but in hurricanes and snowstorms, Mike Sobert, we always lean on him. And here he is today, General Manager of Terrebonne Consolidated Waterworks, and a pretty good football player in his day at
Oh, that was a long time ago, Martin. That was a long time ago.
Well, I got to give the Cardinals some love.
I appreciate it. I was made a little separate time and went up to the Dome there about a month or so ago, and kind of it was a good ball game.
I was
good
there.
Ball game.
I watched
good
it.
Ball
Yeah,
game.
it really was.
Yes, you were. That's right. On the
So
field.
let's talk about this. One's a little different. We're gonna have a few days of bitter cold.
Right.
What are y'all doing to prepare? How do you get prepared?
Well, I think if we look at it from a standpoint of what's a waterworks district do, we pretty much we have a protocol that when I say okay, we activate this particular deal. Obviously, we need electricity. Especially in this kind of storm, while it may not knock down the pole, you actually may, because if the lines get frozen and they get very heavy, then they break, and then you still don't have any electricity. So our preparation, as you know, we've got more than enough generators to keep us running, plus some. So all the tanks are topped up. We have a maintenance schedule that we run all during the year anyway, but kind of make sure everything is right and get ready for that. And then after that, it's just scheduling people. At least if what they're predicting means we won't be on the highway tomorrow, those guys in our water plants, they have to make arrangements to come in this morning. They may not go home till Thursday just because they can't get home.
Right.
So we have two shifts, and they'll come in and they'll operate the plants. We typically run and try and keep everything just as normal, just like we do in a hurricane. Because if we lose pressure, then, as you know, we have to go on a boil water, and that's a real pain and very expensive also for us to do. So our game plan is to keep everything full, which everything is full, which we can do 24 in Houma, 8 in Thibodeau, 24 in Terrebonne, 8 in Houma. That's 32 million gallons. We probably got 12. Probably another 20 million gallons in some tanks, and probably 40 million in the pipes in the ground. You'd be surprised how fast you can use all of that in a day if you get a big line break. Much harder to freeze moving water than still water. Our pipes are very big, and the volume is such that while it's going to get cold, it's really not going to affect us. Right. It may break a little control pipe in the plant or something like that because of the water being off, and it's a half-inch pipe.
So it's the ancillary pipes that feed off of you.
That's it, and control pressures and things like that. But all of those control valves that are out in the field, they've been insulated, and the heat is on, and those things will work fine. If not, one of our technicians will go out and just open it up manually and let the water flow.
We had a 2-inch line outside of HTV coming up on the balcony, and yesterday I was foaming 25 feet of that pipe.
Yes.
We used to put a little sock around it all the way up, but I wasn't taking any chances because that's a main coming in. But I bet a lot of people were foaming and covering pipes yesterday.
Well, I can tell you, I went Saturday afternoon myself. I'd forgotten one, and I went to a couple of the hardware stores, and they were out of everything. No, bubble tubing or any of that kind of stuff. No insulation, no nothing like that. So we're going to do it.
If you're still out, I got some extra.
Yeah, okay. Well, I may come knock. Hey, what can I get? No, I'm good.
I do. I mean, if anybody needs, I have a little bit left. So, but this is different for a lot of people. Like you said, a lot of people that go snow skiing are used to this, but around here, we don't have snow skiing slopes and everything. We're used to hurricanes.
Yeah.
We're not used to snowstorms.
A lot of houses built off the ground.
Yeah.
A lot of open air, a lot of cold wind blowing underneath that house tonight. While it may feel like, while it may be 32, and granted, we're people and we feel the difference, but that cold wind blowing and blowing and blowing, there's nothing to rock it. You're going to get some broken pipes. Our largest consumption, or at least our largest production days in the last 13 years have always been on freezes.
Really?
Always been on freezes.
Wow.
And so what happens is you have a twofold thing. You have the people who tonight will start running their water, and if I may, a pencil is not like two-handed. It's like a pencil, like just a drip. But all of those people are gonna drop, and you got 50,000 meters dropping, so it adds up. Then when it gets real cold and everything freezes, then when it starts to thaw, now you start finding the breaks, and that's really where the big usage comes.
Right.
And again, for us, our pipes are big, a lot of volume, a lot of water to freeze, and it's moving. 50, 60 pounds of pressure, so it's flying down the pipes.
Let's do this. We'll take a break when I come back. Let's try to tell the public what to do in certain situations and when to contact y'all, and if you can do anything in 48 hours while it's still freezing and snowing. We'll just sort of educate them so that, they know what to do. So we'll do this. We'll take a break. And good to see you brought your grandson.
Yep. Yeah.
To Camden, right?
Camden, that's correct.
Camden,
Yes, sir.
So there watching us tape. So it's good. You're teaching him young, Mike.
Trying to.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, we're back. I'm with Mike Sober, of course, General Manager, Terrebonne Consolidated Waterworks. Mike's always on HTV trying to teach us the ropes and bring us in the right direction. I mentioned that his grandson was in the audience today, and let's show Camden. He's here watching. There you go. And he's off of school because of the freeze, but and I think this is important. It's probably his first freeze he's going to experience like this.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
he does remember a little bit about the snow, but when we leave here, we got a few properties. We go and wrap some more pipes that I found.
You can see you're teaching him young. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
But you know what, Martin? The problem is they always say, well, come on, take a ride. If you want something to eat, I'll buy you something. His daddy used to do the same thing until finally I said, tell you what, how about I pay you and then you go eat yourself. You eat too much, get too big, get too hungry.
There you go.
But it's good. It's good to have company.
All right. Let's talk about people tend to panic a little bit in these situations. And like I had people ask me yesterday, okay, which one to run, the cold or the hot water? Which one? So I said, well, just watch tomorrow. I'll have the man on that can answer that question.
Okay. So let's talk about cold and hot water. So the cold water obviously is what comes through our water meter in the front. So if you don't know where your water meter is, because one of the options are you can turn your water off. You can go outside. If you don't have a property valve on your house itself, there should be one behind the meter, and if not, there's one in the meter box. So you can turn that off. Here's the problem. If you turn it off and you don't drain all the pipes, now if you're a raised house, it's worse than if you're a slab house. Even worse if you're an attic with no heat. But you have some options. So you can turn your water off. Open all the faucets, preferably the one furthest, because that's where the pressure comes from the water, right? So you can do that. 2, hot water only gets its pressure from the cold water.
Correct.
So if you don't run your hot water pipe you run the risk of freezing that pipe too, because the hot water that's under the house blowing with 20-degree temperature is going to get cold pretty quick.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Your choice. A lot of people now, Martin, have these on-demand hot water heaters that are sitting outside, up in the air, maybe not with a lot of protection in them. What are you going to do? You can still run the hot water heater. You just have to run it very slow so you don't ignite the fire again to keep it going. If not, you can take the cover off, insulate the pipe, put the cover back on, and go from there.
Yeah.
Harder to freeze running water than solid water. And really because, before I did water in the liquid form, I did it in the frozen form. So when you make ice, you freeze from the outside in.
Right.
And that's because the water's hardest to get to the cold in the middle of the pipe. So if you keep it running, it's called laminar flow in a pipe, that part keeps going and the friction keeps the outside part, and that's why you don't break the pipe.
Well, you made a good point, because I have an ancillary 2-inch pipe running to the back in some boat sheds.
Sure.
Shut that one off, foamed the valves, foamed everything. I went and run the valves, and you can't get it all out of it.
No, that's correct.
But you get it to where it was shooting out to trickle.
Yeah, and just leave the valve open.
Yeah.
Just leave it open. As the water expands, because that's what's going to happen with freeze, it's going to push it out.
Yeah.
It's not the water freezing that causes you the trouble. It's nature taking care of the expansion of the water is what breaks the pipes.
How much does it expand, like on average? Do we know?
I don't know, Martin. They talk about PEX as kind of a popular going to a plumbing deal now. And I've read that literature, and it says that it can expand 5 times its volume. In other words, the diameter without
That's
bursting.
pretty cool, yeah.
But here's the problem. They got fittings.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get to that fitting, it's usually a cast out of a molding, and that's where it's going to split out.
Yeah.
The pipe is going to be good. It's actually a cross-ethylene, cross polyethylene kind of pipe. So it's very strong. We use the same thing when we run our services. But again, it's the weakest link in the chain. So if you have a problem and your pipe bursts and it doesn't freeze, I hate to tell you, we're not going out until it's safe either.
Correct. Yeah.
We're like the lineman in a hurricane. Until it gets below 35, I don't care what happens, we ain't going. My guys are not going out until the road is safe.
Yeah.
Our trucks, our operation is 24/7, as you know. We have 4 crew trucks spread around the parish because our warehouse is on the other side, the Intracoastal, and if we got to get to that warehouse from this side, that's not easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we've learned over the years, we load up 4 of our big trucks and we put them out, and we have crews available that when it does thaw, give us a call. We'll go out and help you where we can.
There's a lot to this. People just think, okay, I'm going to get in my house, make a chicken soup, and I'm going to be okay. But they don't see the Mike Sobers and the police and everybody. And it's what y'all do.
That's
what
what we
y'all
do.
signed up
That's
for.
what we
But there's a lot to it. And when pipes start cracking, I bet plumbers are busy.
Well, they will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
they will be.
Yeah.
They will be. And then just with all the supply chains still being messed up, you're not going to be able to go, like I just told you. I went to one of the big box stores and they didn't have anything. It's like, what's the matter? You guys didn't know it was going to freeze?
Right.
Same thing when everybody does make it freeze, then you're in trouble. So it's best to take care of yourself. And I think once you get burnt bad enough, you probably say, I'm going to get underneath that house and insulate everything finally, much like what you just said you did with your 2-inch pipe and your pipe over here at the building.
Yeah.
You learn.
Well, I'll put enough foam around it.
Oh, yeah. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Let the water run. And if not, like I say, in a big pipe, it's almost impossible.
All right, so when you take Camden Witch out there, make sure he gets his hands dirty.
He will.
All right, I know you're teaching him well.
Always. Thank you, Mike.
Mike, good to see you, and thank y'all for what you do.
True pleasure. Our pleasure, really. Right. Thank you so much.
Mike Sobeg in, bringing us valuable information. We'll take a break, and we'll have a lot more. Just check out all of our Facebook and YouTube. We've been bringing you segments all day long, so if you can't find something that we taped today, keep searching, because chances are we taped about what you're asking. We'll see you around the corner. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.